Hey, what's up? It's GW coming to you live. Before we get into the next movie, I'd like to give a shout out to my man Sam Lurch. Thank you for being supportive. I'd like to give a shout out to my man Dan Bartholomew. Dan is another cool cat, guys, that he loves horror films, and we talk about them all the time. We also talk about, careers, and Dan has helped me out a lot, even though I've never worked for him. The guy is awesome. So, what's up? Give a shout out to my man Danny B. Um, Give a shout out to my man Connor, my man Justin Mays. Let's see, Casey, Emily, my girl Becca. Hopefully your husband got what he needed, and that's cool. So let's just jump right into this review because I think it was a pretty good movie. Even if you're not too crazy about some of the things that happens in it, I think that it's a very well written movie. It's like The Exorcist with a lot of gore. But possession movie, it's about possession, devil possession. And there's been a ton of movies. The Exorcist back in the late 70s. There's been Beyond the Door, Beyond the Door 2, Beyond the Door 3. Countless movies have used possession as a hook for horror. And obviously the king of it is The Exorcist with Linda Blair. And basically, if you don't know anything or haven't seen that movie or any of those movies, it's about a demonic entity possessing a human being. Priests have to drive the demonic entity out, and it usually ends in pretty wicked, brutal ways. So in 2018, Stephen Biro, president of Inert Films, put out a movie called Song of Solomon. And it is probably one of the most entertaining possession movies I have ever seen. It's got tons of gore. It's got a good story. And to be honest with you, it's probably the most entertaining film like that I've seen. And basically, this girl is possessed. Just like in the Exorcist film, you don't see the actual possession start. You just come in after she's possessed. And it takes a whole lot of priests to fight the demonic entity, which makes it pretty entertaining because the whole time you're watching this, you're going, okay, I know it's not going to be the first priests. I know it's not going to be the second priest. Maybe the third priest that's brought in will defeat the demonic entity and send it back to hell. But I'm here to tell you, this movie, the end of it has a twist. A very good twist. Because if you follow any of the, any of the religious, I don't want to say religious information out there, the Antichrist comes before Jesus. That's the way that it was put out, and that's the way I believe it, because, the Antichrist got to come in, right? And then Jesus has to come in. Well, Stephen Biro put a nice little spin on that. But I want to tell you, of all the people in this movie, the girl that plays the possessed woman, Jessica Cameron, is amazing, guys. I mean, she's covered in makeup and blood the whole movie. It's just amazing to see her act and what she can pull off. And especially since the whole movie basically takes place in a bedroom, with a few exterior shots of, priests driving or maybe, the standard Vatican shots. This movie is confined to the bedroom. And I think they did really good, especially because, of what you had to work with. Now, if you watch the making of it, Stephen Biro said he rented his cabin in Florida, which was not an easy find, where they shot the movie. So it's pretty cool. He's a really cool guy. I suggest you guys do watch the interview with that. But the one thing I liked about it is it always kept you on your feet. Now, the end of it is a slash between... There's hints of Rosemary's Baby, right? And there's a hint of maybe The Omen. Not sure. And then we really got into the Omen series, guys. But you're looking for a really cool possession movie, you know, and it does have a lot of gore. I mean, the things you see in this movie are very, very graphic. But what I did like about it is that after the initial two priests in the film, it's more of a one-on-one, one priest versus the demon. There are some really cool effects, guys, in this thing. I'm going to tell you right now. Marcus Cook, who did the effects, is amazing, and I'm not just blowing smoke. He's really good, especially for the gore, the makeup, the fake blood, or the blood everywhere. Very, very good stuff. Dialogue driven too, as well as just not just a ton of gore, but the dialogue is pretty cool. And basically, what I did like about the dialogue too is when the demonic entity starts to speak through Jessica Cameron's character, it's not your typical, low pitched devil voice like Sigourney Weaver when she got possessed in Ghostbusters. It's not like that. It's a regular voice, just doubled and tripled. She recorded her lines a couple of times. Very, very entertaining. I really liked it. It never slowed down. Once the story got going after the initial, I would say, 5 minutes of the film, it took off. And it, in some ways, is better than The Exorcist to me, but nobody can beat Linda Blair. But she comes very, very close as Jessica Cameron. So, I wanted to prop that. Yeah, Song of Solomon, very good, very bloody. Let's see. Carnage count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 dead priests. We get all kinds of carnage in this movie. Throat slit, head melting, tongues ripped out. Let's see, what else do we get? We get limbs cracked, blood spraying all over the place. We get an ripped. We get a baby being ripped out of a woman. Let's see, all kinds of carnage in this film. But we also see a woman regurgitate her insides, which is very cool and very well done too. But it really does rival The Exorcist, and I think it's a better film because it uses modern, it uses modern day traits, I guess you could say, to whereas, it's a one-on-one between a priest and the demon, and that's the way it should be, and you don't see that a lot. You also don't know, and listening to Stephen Biro's interview, you also don't know what happens during a failed exorcism because they really don't go into detail. I think The Exorcist: A New Beginning is the only movie that I know that kind of hinted around the fact that, okay, this guy, he lost an exorcism, but they never tell you what happened. This film kind of tells you what happened, but you have to pay attention. So check out Song of Solomon if you're, really, really interested in it. It's very good. I enjoyed it. Now, it is in a series of movies called American Guinea Pig, but it does not bear the American Guinea Pig logo. That is because, and here's a brief history of the guinea pig films, just to keep everybody up to speed, why there's no American Guinea Pig title in this. The guinea pig films were notorious in Japan for extreme gore, mutilation, and they were actually considered, they didn't know if they were real or not. There's an old Hollywood story of, I think Charlie Sheen or somebody went to a Hollywood party and they had one of these on, in the background, and he thought it was an actual snuff film. So the FBI started investigating it, and all of a sudden, the guinea pig box set became infamously out of print. Well, Stephen Biro and Unearthed Films redid the first film called American Guinea Pig, Bouquet of Guts and Gore. I'm not going to go into the storyline in that because there's basically none. It's just taking what the Japanese did, Americanizing it, amplifying it, And it was the film that the FBI supposedly seized, so they made a mock recreation. Very bloody, very gory. I remember buying it and giving a copy to my buddy Charlie, who said that if you look really close, it's all fake. Now, I never did that, but I mean, it's a movie. It's going to be fake. The second film in the American Guinea Pig series was Bloodshock, and it stars Dan Ellis. And if you guys have ever seen Gutterballs or any of Ryan Nicholson's deals, you will recognize Dan Ellis as a patient, and he's in a hospital where doctors just have their way with him, basically. Very graphic. And it is one of the most graphic films I've seen, especially since the whole movie's in black and white except for the last 20 minutes, which is a little much. Then the third film is called American Guinea Pig Sacrifice, which is about an Egyptian man who mutilates himself in the bathtub. Very graphic, very wicked, to become a goddess. These films are very hard to sit through, but the American Guinea Pig moniker scares retailers. It scares mainstream people because they know that it's not going to buy it. So when Stephen Biro directed Song of Solomon, he left out the American Guinea Pig logo, and it fits, and it's a cool addition, but it also does not have the logo, and it doesn't scare retailers. So just a quick lesson, you guys can look them up. Now, my man Matt Campbell told me about these things back in the day, and you can find them on YouTube, the original Japanese guinea pigs with English subtitles. Japanese are crazy over there. But enough about demon possession and mutilation. Let's talk about some other stuff. Let's see. The new Call of Duty beta just dropped, and I played a little bit yesterday, and I gotta tell you guys, it was really fun. I played a team deathmatch, and it was awesome. And the graphics and just the environment, I think, are great. If you're a big Call of Duty fan, you're probably going to love this. They did add some new movements in there, which I'm still getting the hang of. And I think, an hour here and there is not enough to get the hang of the Omni movement system, is what they call it. But it's very good. Another game that looks really good is Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2, which looks like it's going to be a very, very cool game. So I already got that pre-ordered. And let's see, what else is going on? I did watch a very controversial movie the other day called The Green Elephant. And it's very, very much out of print. You guys can look it up, and like I said, I've been going down this rabbit hole of really graphic, gory, extreme horror films. This is one that it's a Russian film, and you have to question yourself after you watched it. What the hell did I just watch? Why did this go on? And it makes you think. And it's an interesting movie, but it's very, very graphic to the point. And I think the filmmaker who made this back in the day has now distanced himself from the film, doesn't want anything to do with it. That is why it's so hard to find in print. But it's interesting, worth looking up. Check out Cinema Underbelly, and you guys will get the full review. Also, Shudder has, no surprise here, has renewed Joe Bob Briggs' Last Drive-In for Season 7, guys. Season 7, I'm still telling people to watch it, and everybody that watches it comes up to me and says, dude, that was awesome. So definitely check out Season 7 of The Last Drive-In. I think it premieres in September. Yeah, not anything else really going on. Just, just trying to get by. And I appreciate everybody who's supported, me and the channel. Justin Mays, like I said, Sam Lurch, Dan Bartholomew, Connor, Becca, Casey, Emily, a lot of people, have really appreciated what I do. And I keep doing it for you guys. You know what I mean? So Terrifier 3-2 has an October date. There's no word on if it'll be on Screambox or not. That's how I watched the second one without even going to the theater. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Other than that, like I said, American Guinea Pig Song of Solomon. I would probably give an 8 out of 10 because I really dug it. It wasn't slow, it never drug. The gore was plentiful. The acting, although a bit cheesy, was awesome. The fact that there was so much dialogue driven plot to it made it kind of interesting to follow. It probably would take multiple watches to really get everything in. And Stephen Barrow did one really cool twist at the end, and he's a very cool guy. I suggest you check out his interviews. Other than that, I hope everybody has a good Labor Day, and don't do anything I wouldn't do because I'm not gonna help you. And if you know, but who knows what we'll get into tomorrow? Probably another video nasty. Yeah. Beyond that, hope everybody stays safe. Hope everybody can pass the UI checkpoints because I did see a lot of those in traveling this weekend. A lot of police are out, and hopefully everybody stay safe and have a good time. And it's GW signing off.